I'm a predominantly special needs teacher. I've been working in FE for 17 years. And I think what FE teachers do, ideally, is yes, they might have a top-down prescribed curriculum, but I think the good FE teacher uses that as a framework, but actually is aware that it's much bigger than that prescribed curriculum. I think in FE, teachers are very skilled at embedding lots of other sorts of learning within the curriculum workplace. But it's the soft skills, if you like, around it that teachers, FE teachers, I think, are very good at bringing in to the learning. You know, and FE, what FE also does is it provides lots of social opportunities, sporting opportunities. But in FE colleges, you'll also get very good welfare support, mental health support, financial support. You know, the way that FE colleges are set up with the student services is looking after the whole student. And certainly in my experience, I've had students who've been, say, having difficulties at home or difficulties with, you know, mental health stuff, and that there's on-site proper provision, and those services work with the wider agencies like CAMS and the like. And so the whole student is looked after. It's their qualification, their future career and work experience, but it's also their, you know, personal and social development. Something that I've always, just on a personal level, felt very strongly is that people come with knowledge already. You know, and particularly people with learning disabilities are seen not to have any knowledge, not to know anything. And of course they have tons of knowledge, the same as we all do. And so my natural way of teaching was to co-create knowledge with them and to look at some of the things oppressing them. So for example, I was teaching a group of adults with learning disabilities a life skills curriculum, and we discussed hate crime. We were talking about hate crime. So what we decided to do as a group, myself and the students, was that we would devise a training course on hate crime, how to deal with it, for other adults with learning disabilities, about what hate crime is. They talked about their own experiences of it. They included what people should do about it, who they should tell, how to report it to the police. I mean, in that group of students, also what they did was campaigned with the local bus company, because most hate crime was carried out on buses, name calling, spitting, that sort of thing. And so they worked with the local bus company to work with the drivers, the bus drivers, and they developed a policy around working with the public with disabilities and learning disabilities. You know, like, it's once something's named, you name something,
you start
like
discovering
hate crime, you start discovering it, and it empowers people to say, these people are being horrible to me because I've got learning disability, rather than internalising that symbolic violence, if you like. They started to say, that's wrong, and I can do something about it. So that's an example of kind of critical pedagogy, how it's working out there. Another group of adults with learning disabilities that I worked with, we, as part of using community facilities, again it was a life skills programme, we went up to the local archives and records office, and these adults, they loved it so much that we ended up developing the course into local history. There was one young woman in her mid-20s who came to it, and she'd had developed this very serious mental health condition as a teenager and hadn't completed her schooling, and she was living in his shared lives of adult foster placement, and she came along to this local history group, and she got so involved in research and genealogy and locality research that she got some training in it, and she used to go as a volunteer to various genealogy groups. And that whole experience, because before that she didn't used to go out the house, was so transformational for her that she was able to move out of the shared lives home and into her own flat and live independently.
That's fantastic.
And I then went to work in a group of national specialist NatSpec colleges, which are residential FE colleges, for young people who wouldn't be able to access mainstream FE at that time due to support needs. and all the teachers are master craftsmen or women. So the young people, it's a residential, they are apprenticed to a deep craft, such as glass blowing, stained glass, blacksmithing, bronze casting. So the one in Stourbridge is very much based on glass. The one in Sheffield is very much based on steel. They move from being a young person who's felt to not be achieving to somebody who brings a beautiful set of wine glasses or coffee table home that they've made. And that has a massive effect on self-esteem. And certainly the young people in those colleges, the difference in their ability to work together, work with another person, was really enhanced. These skills are so incredibly transferable because they are actually personally transformative. And so becoming involved in adult education groups in the community delivered by FE is a place of belonging. It creates a sense of belonging for people. They are part of a learning community. It's for those young people, it's their first experience of being integrated properly into society. So yes, they're in their class with their peers, but they're in the canteen at lunchtime. They join societies, they do stuff, and so they are experiencing an integrated world. The most don't. And so when students from mainstream schools are alongside students with special educational needs, I think it changes their attitudes to disability, which is really, really important because that's what we need to change in society. People are integrated, and so I think there's a massive benefit there.